Okay, so as we dive in, I want to go through the power of email marketing. So why it's so important for entrepreneurs, especially newer entrepreneurs, to be using email marketing as one of their marketing channels. So you get direct and personalized communication with your ideal audience, with people who are actually already interested beyond just your ideal audience. They're people who are already interested in what you're doing. It's pretty cost effective to have an email marketing platform that you use. We'll let you know what we use and actually share a link with you later on. It's super cost effective, very, very low cost, and you get a higher ROI if you do it the right way. So that's why it's really crucial, because it can be a really good lead funnel and converter for you. It's also a good opportunity to build trust and brand loyalty with your audience. And that's really important, because that's how you get people to repurchase. And it costs a lot less money to have people who are repurchasers than to get a brand new lead or brand new person to purchase, brand new customer. It's enhanced targeting and segmentation. So really you can clearly segment out different audiences, and that's important for A/B testing. That's important for particular campaigns. If you know that you have certain audience members that would take to this form of marketing versus this or messaging versus this messaging, it's good to segment it out and know how you found the leads, for one, so you know how to continue to talk to them, but for two, for the A/B testing, to know what's going to work and what's not going to work. And then measurable results and optimization. So email marketing has a great ability for you to automate, optimize, and really get it working for you a little bit more than other platforms, I would say, or other marketing channels. And so you can really, with that, having that high ROI and being able to automate and optimize a little bit easier here, that is a lot more return for a lot less energy, and that is what we love. And then measurable results. So you can clearly see, you get a lot of data with email marketing, especially if you're using a great platform. So having clear measurable results that you can look at with every single email is really important, because that can help you make new decisions and pivot a lot quicker. So this is the power of email marketing. If you are not using it, I hope that this is a way to convince you. So first and foremost, with email marketing, you, and anything you do in your marketing, but we're talking email specifically, you want to identify your objective. So what are your goals with email marketing? Why have you started email marketing? What is it that you want to achieve? This is important, because if you don't know the end result, you don't know the end goal that you want to get to, it's going to be really hard to build a solid strategy, because you don't know why you're building it in the first place. So knowing very clearly that why is going to be crucial. So that's why this is the first step. We're not even looking at an email platform. We're not even thinking about an email platform or designing it or anything like that. We are thinking about our why, our goals, and what is going to make this campaign or your email marketing in general a success. So that moves me to your key performance indicators. So your key performance indicators, if you are unfamiliar, these are typically quantifiable measures of success. So we want to get this % open rate. We want to get this % click rate, and we want to make this number in sales. Those are typical numbers that you would want to see for any email campaign. So if you are launching a brand new product, let's say, and you are building an email campaign around that product, you would want to identify how many clicks, how many people you want to get to your website from this entire campaign. So that would be your click rate. And then you want to identify that conversion number too. So how many sales, what is going to look like success for you from this campaign in that monetary factor? What's that going to look like? Set those goals before you even begin. And obviously make them realistic, but also don't be afraid to have high goals either, because that is how you're going to grow. And if you stay thinking small, you'll stay small, but also be realistic too. And so find that balance. It's really important, because otherwise, if you're shooting too far into the stars, it's going to feel really disappointing, even when you're doing really well. So find that balance within yourself. Look at the numbers that you are currently running and make a projection, an accurate projection. And then after that, think about your overall key marketing objectives. So we're thinking these first 3 for our emails, but what are your overall marketing objectives? What do those look like? And how do these email marketing goals align with those overall marketing objectives? A lot of times your email campaigns might align with a fuller campaign that's going to happen on your social accounts or in your ads, whatever the case may be. So what does it look like as a whole? Next, you want to identify your target audience. You can't send an email if you don't know who you're sending it to. So it's really important to know your audience through and through for all of your marketing efforts, but especially in your email marketing, because it's, again, that more personalized and targeted communication. So you really want to be able to speak to them here. And we'll kind of go through your marketing funnel and why speaking to them in a particular way in your email marketing is important. But identifying your target audience, really, it's beyond identifying, it's knowing them, what their pain points are, why they care, what they need, how you're going to fill the gap for them. Knowing how you're going to fill that gap comes from having a deep understanding of who they are and what they need. So think about that, and really, I would spend some time after our call today and really think it through if you haven't already. And even if you have, maybe go back and just revise it. Take a moment to think it through and know who exactly you're talking to. Because we also need to know why they care. Why are they going to care about the emails? Because they get emails, a lot of them. If you're anything like me, you're signing up for a lot of discount codes. And so they're getting a lot of emails. How are you going to stand out? And it's only from knowing them and knowing why they care, or why they should care. So get really clear on that. So building your email list. This is a big question that new entrepreneurs often have. How the heck do I build my list? I don't have anyone on my list. What do I do? So there's a few things to consider for building your list. For one, the basics, adding easy sign up forms on your website, in your blog, on your social media pages, anywhere that you can have an opportunity for someone to sign up, have it there. That way it's readily available, they're being reminded of it, and it's easy. The next thing to consider is incentivizing them. Why are they going to put their email in instead of clicking the X on the pop-up of your website? Because clicking the X is a lot easier than typing in their email. So we need to give them some reason or purpose with signing up, with giving us the email. So offering a lead magnet or an incentive. This can be, I have free ebook. This could be a free resource. So if you are let's say a dietitian or a nutritionist, something like that, you could include your grocery list. Your ideal grocery list could be that freebie that they get when they sign up. It automatically goes out to them. And that could be a purpose or a reason, an incentive for them to sign up. A discount code if you are a product-based business, 10% off, 15% off, could be a great reason for people to sign up as well. But they need to get a little something in order to sign up. And I know it seems easy, like, oh, you just put your email in. Why is that so hard? But people need to feel like they're getting something out of this exchange. So some kind of incentive will be important. So think through, ideate what some of those could be. And then, of course, use your network. So ask your friends and family to sign up, send them the link. and really send it out to people you are already connected with beyond friends and family too. I would say don't take an existing list that you have if it is totally unrelated to what your new venture is. I wouldn't say take that old list and bring it over, because that might lose out on some brand trust because you've taken a totally different list. But if you've done something similar, you have some contacts that it crosses over, I would definitely say add that into your email list. There are other ways like hosting events like this one to add emails into your list as well. But definitely an incentive of some kind is important. And then starting off with the people that you know. And I would also say that when you're starting off with people that you know, ask them what they think of your emails as well, because it doesn't hurt to get that feedback and to see how they feel about them. Did they feel inclined to open it? What was interesting about it? Did it provide value? It's good to kind of have people close to you give you their honest feedback too. So I would definitely recommend that. So next, you want to craft compelling and actionable content. Actionable is a key word here, and I'll tell you why on the next slide. But it's very important that it's actionable. So in order for this content to be relevant, we need to be providing value to the subscriber. So they need to have a purpose, a purpose for being on your list. So if you're only sending out promotional emails, and on top of that, the messaging is very centered around you and your business's success, rather than how your product or service is going to change their life, then they're likely going to unsubscribe. So we want to create value. We want them to know why they're subscribed, but beyond that, we want them to look forward to the emails that you're sending. So if you're bombarding them too much with too much fluff in your emails, they might unsubscribe. If it doesn't benefit them in some way, then they're going to dip out, or they're not going to take action. They're just going to mark as read in their email inbox and not take action, which is what we really want them to do with email marketing. So know the value that you're going to provide before putting the email together. So really think it through, plan it out in a Google Doc, in your Trello board, in something. Know what the value is first. You want to create engaging and informative content. So you've provided value, intrigue, whatever it is up in your subject line, whatever got them to click into it. Now they're in it. The content needs to be engaging and informative. So informative in the sense of telling them exactly why they need to buy what it is you're selling. Informative, telling them how to do something, how they can grow, how they can get better, how they can, could be a 2-for-1, how they can get super silky soft hair with your new conditioning treatment. Whatever it is, you need to create engaging and informative content, something that they're going to want to click into and learn more about, but also that they're going to take some value away from. And then you want to include clear calls to action, very, very clear calls to action. And you don't want to have too many in your email. I would say newsletters are a little bit different because newsletters, I think, serve a bit of a different purpose versus like a campaign, for example. So for a campaign, you want really targeted calls to action. So if we're talking about an amazing conditioning treatment that you want people to buy, it should be links to purchase the product, and it shouldn't just be buy here. It should be like get your silky soft new look now, or something like that. So make it interesting, make it fun, but include a call to action to where they know what the next step that they should take is from the email. So that's why actionable is the most important word here. So let's talk about the marketing funnel. I've brought it up a few times, and it's just because I'm really excited about it. But it's also super relevant to understand your marketing funnel and where email falls within it, because you're not going to treat your email marketing the same way you treat like your Instagram or something like that. So when we think about our marketing funnel, it is your audience's path to purchase. So how they go from a stranger to a buyer to a raving fan. So each piece of your funnel needs to be very clear and well thought out. Because if there's any kinks in the hose, any snags, you could have amazing email marketing. You could be showing up so well on Instagram, but if your website is super confusing, it doesn't look professional, it is really just not it. That can take people right out of that funnel. So each element needs to feel very cohesive and very strategized and well thought out. So it's really important because, again, you will miss out on a sale if each piece, if there's a piece that isn't optimized. So looking at your funnel, if you are unfamiliar with a marketing funnel, I'm going to walk through the whole thing with you, but then we'll really focus in on why email is important and where it lies in the funnel. So your funnel starts with awareness. So this is where people who are total strangers, they've never heard of you or your brand before. This is where they get to know you. And this is like your social media. So they stumble upon your Instagram. Maybe they stumbled upon a Facebook ad, a Google ad. Maybe you were in Forbes or a magazine of some kind, and they maybe they stumbled upon you from something and they'd never heard of you before. They know you, they've heard of you, you exist in their brain at least a little bit now. Then we go into interest. So after they are introduced to your brand, they might peruse around and go to your website, which would be landing page. Maybe they do click into your Instagram and kind of scroll through a little bit. They're perusing around, learning more about you. So this is why your website is really important. Your website is important right here, because how you show up there, even how you show up on Instagram too, in this interest phase, it's going to be really important. They need to feel like they understand and are getting a deeper view into your brand and your business. Next, they go into this consideration phase. So this consideration phase is where emails start to come into play. So they've landed on your website and maybe they signed up for your email. You gave them a great incentive, a great freebie, and they're like, oh, I could use that. I'm interested. Okay, so they've moved from interest to consideration. Now they're considering a purchase because now they're getting something from you, a freebie. They're getting a discount code, which insinuates a potential purchase, right? So in this consideration mode, you're going to position your messaging a lot different than you would position your messaging to a total stranger, because now they've already seen a little bit about you. They've already gone to your about page, your website. They already know the basics of your brand. So now you need to get them a deeper view. You need to tell them exactly why you are going to provide them value, exactly why you are filling a gap for them, exactly why they should care, why your product's amazing and better than everyone else's. This is crucial. It's more nurturing the audience. So there's two different kinds of content. And I know this is a lot of information, but it's two different kinds of content. There's awareness content and nurturing content. Awareness is for the stranger. Nurturing is for those who already know you. So a lot of times your emails are the nurturing kind of content. So tell them what they need to know. They shouldn't have any questions. They should just be able to go to the email. They know everything. They've made the decision. They're clicking into your call to action and they're going to make a purchase. So then they purchase. Yay, we love that, money. And then we go into retention. So you'll see things that are at the top and the middle of the funnel, actually, all the way at the end. So social media, you can see down here, and emails you can see down here. Also, I hope you can see my cursor because I'm pointing at stuff. But retention is important because this is how you're going to restart the funnel without having to do as much work. So posting to your social media, email campaigns, thanking them, your email workflows that go along with being a part of your email list is really important. So an example of this is everyone knows, well, maybe not everyone, but Skims is having their annual or biannual sale happening now. And everyone is on that email list because they're looking forward to this sale. And so they are in the consideration phase. If they've ever wanted to buy Skims, they're getting emails from Skims, but also the people who have purchased from Skims and love Skims a lot are getting the emails as well. So now they're going to be repurchasers, and it comes from this email here all the way around to purchase. So this cycle is a lot shorter from the emails being sent than starting all the way from awareness. What's also important is in this retention, you have people who love Skims and they will restart the funnel for you. So Maddie on this call, she is a Skims fan, and she convinced me that I needed certain products from Skims. And so instead of Miss Kim Kardashian having to work hard to get me to go through this full funnel to purchase, she had Maddie, who was already a raving fan, telling me, you need this from Skims. So that also closed this retention to purchase. It took me out of these other 4 steps, and I went straight to purchase from a raving fan. That is how you're going to save yourself a lot of money in the long run. Because if you don't have to restart this funnel and get a new purchaser, and you're getting your raving fans, you're getting repurchasers, that is how you have a strong marketing funnel. So this is really, really crucial to understand when you're doing anything in your marketing. But for this case, email marketing specifically, because it is at these crucial points that could lead to purchase. And so it's really, really important that you understand this. If you have any questions about the funnel, please drop them in the chat, because I know this is a lot of info. And I will be answering some of them now because I know it was a lot. So if there's any questions thus far, please let me know.
We do have one question from Rob G. He said, do you only email people who have opted into your system, or do you gather email addresses another way?
Yes. So, for example, I will use this event specifically. So all of you that have signed up to be part of this event, we take the CSV from this event and we add it into, well, we actually have a automated system, which I will tell you about, but basically we've created, using Zapier, a connection from Eventbrite to our email list. So now you've got your emails have been added to a segment on our email list, and we've called it Email Marketing Masterclass, so that we know how we found you. But this Email Marketing Masterclass, and I'll just give you the full truth. Yes, it's informational and it's for you to learn, but it's also a lead magnet. It's us talking to our direct audience, those of you who want to know how to market your businesses, who want to know how to grow. And that's who we want to work with. We want to work with people who are ready to build something great and who are ready to soak in all the knowledge that they need to build it. And so this is a lead magnet for us. And so that's kind of what I meant earlier, a lead magnet or an incentive. Another lead magnet could be if you are tabling somewhere, if you're on a pop-up event and you get people to sign up for a giveaway that you're hosting there. And so they just have to give you their email, whether they sign up in a spreadsheet or they write it down on a clipboard. That's a lead magnet. And so that giveaway is a good opportunity for you to take all of those emails and put it into your email list. So it's both opt-in, but it's also having different creative ways to get new emails or new people added to your list. Any other questions? No.
One, can you redefine the difference between an email newsletter and an email campaign?
Totally. So an email newsletter, not everyone sends out a newsletter. And that's totally okay. I don't think it's needed for everyone. Some people love it. We send a newsletter because we just have a lot that we like to share. So an email newsletter is kind of like an overview. So it's going to be, well, for us, we send it as an overview, a monthly overview. So that includes our monthly topic that we're focused on. That ties into usually our workshop of the month. So we talked about email marketing in our main newsletter. So that are events that we have. We also share resources in our newsletter, new deals, that kind of thing. So the newsletter is really more like an overview of what's going on in your business, or how people can interact with your business in all of these different ways. So that's a little bit more, it's great for the newer subscriber, I would say. And so that's why it's good to have them recurring monthly, or, whatever it is, because then they get that overview and understanding of what's going on in your business. And then an email campaign is something a little bit more targeted. So it's going to be targeted over a particular event, a particular service, a particular deal, product, whatever it is. And you're really, really focused in on your KPIs and objectives for that particular thing. So it would be if you have, like I said, that new hair conditioning treatment and you want to sell it because it's your brand new product, you're going to build a campaign that that is around that particular product. So it's going to be talking about the 5 best tips to get silky hair, and one of those tips includes your new conditioning treatment. It's going to be why this is the must-have for your hair routine, like all of these things, but it's all going to be centered around that one particular product, service, or deal. So I hope that is helpful.
We have 3 more questions. So that was
Lordy.
the first one. That first one was Elizabeth's, and her second one was, at the first phase of gaining emails through social media, would the call to action be join our newsletter, community, link in bio? Or how would you suggest in another way to gain more followers through social media?
More subscribers, using your social media as like a medium to get new subscribers.
I
Is that the question?
assume Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yes, she said yes.
Okay, great. Yes, but I think you can get more creative than that. Yes, having calls to actions in your stories, you utilize that link feature in your stories, because it's there for a reason. It's there for people to click into it and to see what you have to offer. Yes, include it in your link in bio as well, so that people can, as they're perusing, they can go and subscribe if they want to. But this is also an opportunity to use social media as a lead magnet to offer a giveaway and direct them to your email subscriber list. I'm giving away this to all my new email subscribers. Here's the link to subscribe. That's all you have to do to enter, and all new subscribers. And then you would segment, pro tip, segment all of the people who have entered for that giveaway, create a special segment for them so that you know who to choose from. But a giveaway is just an example. If you are at a physical event, which I know specifically for you, Elizabeth, that you do that, giving people an incentive there to sign up as well would be important too. But definitely use your social media, but get creative. It doesn't just have to be a call to action on your story. It can be, and it should happen, but there can be more things that you can do. I'm going to pause on the questions, because we will have time for questions at the end, but I want to go through our final few steps and tidbits. And so if you have more questions, please continue putting them in the chat, and we'll kind of go through them all at the end. I don't want to leave anyone without a question answered. So we will continue. I'm going to actually take a sip of coffee first. Okay, now we will continue. Okie doke. So this is kind of the fun part. So you get to get creative. So remember, I just want to remind you of the previous step. So we're understanding our funnel, but we're planning out this content, right? So how are we providing value? What is the information we're going to share? How is it going to be engaging? What calls to action are we going to have? It should all be planned before you start creating. Now we're creating, and it's fun. Well, for me at least. So you get to create all of the assets, the visual representations of your campaign or what's going to go in your newsletter. So if you're subscribed to us, which now you are, don't subscribe because I will know. We put in like our own GIFs from our photo shoots, and different things like that each month. So we get to create all of those assets that tie in the copy. You don't want it to be too copy heavy. You want to have visuals that break it up. That visual could also be images of your product. It could be, you could be taking a video from your YouTube and including it in there. Maybe you're a podcaster and you've recorded it and you want to include that in your email. Whatever it is, create your assets and know what assets, visual assets are going to be needed for your email and put them together. This also goes if you're doing a full campaign beyond just email marketing, you're doing a full marketing campaign. All of your assets should be created and then ready to be added into your email. So think through what you want the email to be. That's why we had that step before. And then you create the visuals that go along with it. So you'll also want to confirm your process. Everyone's process is going to be a little bit different, I would say, because everyone thinks a little bit differently and views things a little bit differently. Different systems of organization work for different people. So confirm your process and what's going to work for you. So how often are you going to be sending emails? Is it going to be once a week, twice a week, once a month? Is it you have an email newsletter and then you have one campaign a month? Whatever it is, know how often you'll be sending them and what kind of emails are being sent. Do not spam. Do not spam because that is how you will lose subscribers. And it also loses brand trust. So you don't want to do that. So don't spam. And spamming is sending emails that aren't providing value. That's what I think, personally. Some may say like getting an email once a week is spam, but that just means they're not interested enough in your brand. But I would say as long as you're providing value in every single email you're sending, it's not spam, but there is obviously a way to overdo it. So just keep that in mind. And then also be aware of how long it takes you to build your emails or build a campaign so that you can allot that time in. I know that a lot of you are solopreneurs or have small teams. And so it can be a lot to build out several emails a month or several email campaigns. And so it's really important to know how long it's going to take you so you can budget out that time in your schedule so that you can remain consistent, because that's so important with emails. If you're spotty, if you're currently doing emails and it's really spotty, I think that you're not giving people the chance to look forward to your emails or the value you're going to provide because they don't know when to count on it, if that makes sense. People like to be conditioned. And so if they're seeing it in their inbox every Sunday, for example, and they know, oh, I'm getting an email from so-and-so, I love their products. What is this email going to be? What are they including for me in there is really what a lot of people think. So know how long it's going to take you to build them from start to finish. And then we'll talk about how you can optimize that time too. And then as you're creating, you want to make sure your branding is consistent. So you shouldn't be having colors and logos and fonts on your Instagram and on your website, and then your emails are totally different. It should all be really streamlined because the goal with all marketing efforts partially is creating brand recognition. That's really, really crucial. And so that's why you want to be using those same things over and over again, so that people see, I mean, you see the Starbucks logo, you see the green mermaid girl, you know, it's her. It doesn't even need to say Starbucks on it, right? You see the color scheme, you see the cup even, you don't even have to look at the logo. And so you want to create that for your audience too, that they know that it's you. So that's really important. And then think about how you're going to stand out in their inbox. So this is where subject lines come into play, and it is so important to be creative with your subject lines. I don't have a slide on this, but I just want to cover some do's and don'ts for subject lines. so that you can kind of go into building them a little bit with a little bit more confidence, maybe if that's something you struggle with. So a do, keep it short, keep it, maybe use a call to action, make it personal or relevant to the subscriber. So why are they going to care to open it? How is it relevant to them? So make it about them. Maybe use an emotional phrasing. So get them to feel something. It doesn't have to be a sad something. It could be an excited something, but get them to feel something. Don't make it long. It's another don't make it long. That's for sure, because if it cuts off before they can even read the whole thing in their inbox, or if it's just really lengthy, they're not going to read the whole thing, and they're going to think that the whole email is lengthy, and they're not going to want to open it. I would say another don't is, I'm blanking on my don'ts actually, but focus on the do's, I'll say. Focus on the do's. We'll keep it positive. But and if you have any more questions about subject lines, you can always email me because my brain is blanking. I did have a list of do's and don'ts for you, but those do's are crucial. So focus on those. So next, we really, really want to stick to the plan, go back to the plan. And so that comes with referring back to your objectives. So that's why creating came all the way toward the end here, because you want to have everything thought through and built out and referred back to your objectives. It should all be related to that first slide. Why are you doing this? What do you have to get out of it? What are your KPIs? It's really important as you're planning for everything to be centered around those, because otherwise we kind of get lost, and we don't know why we're doing it. We don't know what we're going to get out of it. It's not clear. So then it's harder to measure what's working, what's successful, and how to really move forward, and re-strategize. You want to put some systems into place. So like I said, getting clear on your process, but optimizing and automating. So I've mentioned segmenting your audience. I've mentioned Zapier, which I didn't include on one of the slides here, but Zapier is amazing for automation. So it's Zapier. And what it does is it can connect to softwares. So for us, it can connect, we use it for Eventbrite to Flowdesk, which is our email marketing platform. It's from our community platform to our Flowdesk as well. And what it does is it creates a connection that automatically does what you want it to do. So for example, when you signed up to be a part of this, event, you gave us your email and your first name, your last name. And so Eventbrite, because we set up that connection, Eventbrite told Flowdesk, hey, they signed up for this event, and you told me to put their email in this particular segment that I created for you guys. So I know that connection is happening, and you guys are automatically being placed into that segment. So that's why having different tools for automation is really important and helps you optimize your system. The alternative would be that I would go and download the entire CSV and then upload it into that segment manually, which is also so doable and doesn't take long either, but this just has it working in the background. So it's not another to-do list item on my brain, if that makes sense. So that's an important way to optimize your system and automate it. Another way to automate is utilizing workflows. So if you don't know what a workflow is something that automatically happens in the back end that has a trigger. So we just put you guys all in that email marketing segment. Now we've created a workflow that has, whenever you're in that email marketing segment, whenever a new person has been added, it triggers an email that we've created to be sent out to you. So you probably got it on Monday, I believe, and it probably said, you're confirmed, can't wait to see you. So you got that email. Then we set a time delay for after this call. And then I'm going to send you a thank you email where I put in all of the summary and all of the things that I want to say to thank you for being here. I created that email and then I set it to automatically send to you all. So that way you're not losing out on your connection with me. I'm not losing out on my connection with you. And you're guaranteed to get all of these emails because I created it that way. So I created it once and now those things are happening without me having to check it off my brain again. Okay, I have to send them another email. I have to send them another email. I've already created it once and now it's happening. So that's the importance of automation. And there's always a line with automation, in my opinion, with marketing. All of these emails I created myself. I wrote all of the copy. And so it's still me connecting authentically with you. But there are some things where you, let's say in the Instagram DMs, you have automatic replies like, hey, we'll get back to you soon, that are just very generic. And so that's not one of my personal favorite things about automation. And I don't utilize something like that. So I think authentic connection is important. So utilize workflows, but still authentically connect with your audience. And there's a way to do both because we do it. So automation is really crucial. Pre-plan out your content. So all of the things we did before, planning it out, writing the copy, getting clear on how we're going to engage them, knowing all of the visuals, everything is pre-planned. And then you want to do that kind of ahead of time. So you want to create a full, we use Trello, a full board or a full calendar. So you know what initiatives are really important for you over this month. What new products you want to talk about, what new services, if there's a discount, if, whatever the case may be, any initiative that you want to include in your marketing should be mapped out. That way you can pre-plan, okay, I'm going to do an email campaign that's going to include 4 different emails about this product because it's our new product or it's not selling as well and I want people to purchase it. Whatever it may be, pre-plan everything out because that's how you set yourself up for the most success and the least stress. And then just a reminder again, consistency in your branding is so crucial. And so I just don't want you to forget that because brand recognition is how you create loyalty. You see, like I said, Starbucks, Nike, you know what it is. You want your brand to be the same thing. So as you're planning, make sure that's an important part of it. So this is an example of Trello. This is our overall marketing board, but I just want you to see email workshop reminder, workshop thank you. We know what's happening. And we also have it going. So this was an old workshop that I had done, so an old screenshot, but we know what's going live where and how it's all related. If you would have seen a screenshot of this showing the week prior, you would have also seen workshop feed posts on Instagram. So it's all related, and that's how this is a mini version, I would say, but that's how you consider a campaign. It's going to have multiple emails. It's going to have a workflow, which is what this is. And you're going to be talking about it all throughout your marketing in a strategic way. You're not going to bombard, but this is just an example. And so this is why having a calendar of some kind, whether it's a Google Sheet, whether it's Airtable is another great one, or Trello, it's really important to have something to plan everything out with. So optimize your system. We kind of touched on this. Optimize for mobile. So make sure people who are opening it on their phones, you usually with most platforms can look at both views. Just make sure that everything is like they can read it. The text isn't too small. The images aren't too big or too small. So just make sure it's optimized for mobile. We talked about segmenting your list and how you could do that, why it's important. Practice consistency. So if consistency for you is 1 email a month, then do 1 email a month. You can always add more, but if you overwhelm yourself from the start, a lot of times my coaching clients, they can get ambitious and they really want to, I'm going to do 4 emails a month. I'm going to do 6 emails a month. But really the goal is, especially as a new entrepreneur, is slow and steady. And then you can always fold in more emails, larger campaigns, that kind of thing. Don't forget to mute yourself. But that kind of thing is more important than putting out 4 emails at once. Putting out 1 consistent email every month is a lot better. So just practice consistency, find what works for you, and then build from there. You want to keep a high deliverability rate. So that means not having phony emails or old emails in there. So you want that rate to be high. And then, of course, you want to automate. High deliverability rate. This will affect your open rates and your click rates. If you have a bunch of like dead emails in there, you're going to end up with lower subscribe rates, click rates, that kind of thing, or click rates and open rates. And if you have partnership opportunities or other things that you want to pursue, those numbers are really important, but it's also better to have a more accurate read of how many people care about your emails. And that's with having active subscribers and not dead emails or spam emails. So I'm trying to, because we're running up on time, so I'm going to try and go through the rest of this a little bit quicker. We don't have too much left. So really the next part is trial and error. Really, any error is learning always. It's always a learning lesson. When things flop, that is okay. Not everything is going to hit. And that's what marketing is. There's no one marketing strategy that works. There's no one email strategy that works. And so if you send an email and it totally bombs, do not beat yourself up. That is so okay, because it happens and you're just going to learn from it and learn what worked, what didn't work, what you need to change. So you'll implement your plan. You'll listen to your audience. So if they're not opening it, that means your subject line, even if you had great content in there, your subject line wasn't intriguing enough. Maybe you had a great subject line, great open rate, but then people didn't click into it. That means maybe your messaging wasn't clear, it wasn't valuable to them. You had too many things to click into, you didn't have enough to click into. Just pay attention to the changes that you or the things that may or may not have been the reason, and then make small tweaks. So then you know, okay, that was the reason or it wasn't. So is it the subject line? Maybe try a different subject line, that kind of thing. A/B testing is great. That's why you have different audience segments. So then you can try different things and see what's going to work. Maybe it's a similar email or the same email, but you're trying two different subject lines. So you're sending it to two different segments and seeing which works better. A/B testing is really important, and that's how you get to understanding your audience a little bit better and a little bit quicker. And then you always want to record and review the data. And so we'll go through what data points are important. So reviewing and analyzing, you're setting up your data collection, which a lot of times the platforms that you use will typically have that in there, so that it'll automatically record everything. But we also use a spreadsheet to track our email analytics every single week. So keeping that in mind, having your data somewhere, don't just leave it in the platform, have it somewhere else for you to access, track and record, and then analyze the impact. So how is it working? How is it not working? Or what's not working, I should say. So I want to go through, so this is the back end of Flowdesk, and I want to go through some of these numbers really quickly, and then we'll wrap up. So this is an open rate. So this is for Flowdesk, the average open rate for this email marketing client. And this is a great open rate. A lot of open rates, I think, are in the lower 20% on average. So getting a higher open rate is great. That means your subject lines are interesting or you're providing high value. This open rate is the number of people that open your email. So even if those people are opening it and not reading it, that still factors into this number. So this can tell you if your subject lines are doing well, if people are looking forward to what you're sharing. So that means they've opened it once and then they liked what they saw. So now they're, oh, I got another email from Isabel, Coast to Coast Balance. I am excited. So I'm going to see what she has to say this week. So that's important to consider. Subject lines, but also retention. We want people continuously looking forward to you in their inbox. Next is your click rate. So this is how many people are clicking into the things that you have linked in your email. So again, you don't want to overwhelm them with too many things to click into. Newsletter aside, because I think we put a lot for people to click into in our newsletter, but all value packed. And so that's the difference, I would say. Other than like having just every product you have, that's a little bit different. I would not do that. But click rate is important because this shows that they're engaging with what you're sharing. So if you're sharing resources, that is important for them to click into. That's how you know that that resource was valuable, and maybe you should continue sharing a resource in your emails. If it's they've clicked into the product that you were promoting or the schedule a consultation button, this tells you what they're clicking into for each email and why. A lot of times, if your subject line is related to what you want them to click into, you'll see the correlation between the click rate and the open rate. So just keeping that in mind. Oh, I remembered a don't for subject lines. Don't clickbait people. If you put something in your subject line and then they go to look for it in your email and it's not there, you've just lost trust and they might unsubscribe. So keep that in mind too. If your subject line is related to what is related to, it should be related to what's actually in the contents of your email. But having it related to what you want them to click into is even better. Next is the deliverability rate. So this is what I was talking about. So this is a high deliverability rate, which means that emails weren't bouncing, and that the list is active live emails primarily. So that means that a lot of these numbers are accurate, because if this was a lot lower, then the open rate would be skewed because these emails don't exist, so they can't open them. So then you might have this lower open rate, and it's going to skew your ability to understand your data, analyze your data, and create new strategies. So that's really important. And then, of course, these other things, number of emails sent, total email volume. So this is just the number of emails. So 92 emails times the number of subscribers. That's how many emails have been sent out. And then your unsubscribe rate, you always want that to be low as well. If you find that it's getting higher, it means that you're either spamming or you're not sharing value. So just pay attention to that. Oh, I didn't realize I had that one in there, but pay attention to that one. Refine and pivot. I think this goes without saying. Make data-driven decisions, look at the data, review it, and make changes. Be ready to pivot quickly, and don't hold on to anyone's strategy. If the numbers are telling you it's not working, then it's just not working. And that's how you can find success a lot faster. So consider all of these items. And then celebrate, because you did the damn thing. You sent some emails, even if they flopped, you did it. And you're learning something. You're always learning something with marketing, and that's the beauty of it. You will always be learning something new. And that's something to be excited about, because if it flopped this week, flop next week, if it flopped for 12 months straight, you're learning something from each one. And on month 13, start of 2024, your emails are going to be great. And because you've learned all of these things from all of the, I don't like to say failures, but all of the flops, all of the, things that didn't meet the mark. But there's also going to be a lot of wins in there, and a lot of things that you find do work. So celebrate those things, celebrate yourself, and don't be hard on yourself. Marketing is trial and error. That is primarily like the staple trademark of marketing. It's trying a bunch of things and seeing what works. So if you want to take a quick screenshot, this is the overview, but you will get an email that has this overview as well. And I know we're running over time, but I do want to go over just briefly how we implement email marketing. I'll skip over a few things. And I also have a link to our email marketing platform that we use. It's woman owned and founded, which is amazing. So we love that. But it's also very easy to design with. It has great metrics, which you saw the back end of it on those previous slides. So I just really